Welcome back, wanderers. We're going to take the TST for a little bike ride down to the beach, even though it's a little bit of a cloudy day. We're going to take it in the RV pretty soon, actually, on a camping trip, and zoom around the campground, and we'll get some content there too, which will be really cool. But for now, it's beach day, so let's do this. Do a little pedal assist 5 action. So we've done a few videos with the TST R9, and you don't need to hear about specs anymore. Because at this point, after we've had it for a few weeks, it's more about, you know, is this an enjoyable bike to ride? Is this something I'd spend my own money on? What are my likes and dislikes? We're going to get to that. We're going to answer all of those juicy questions and more during this little beach adventure. And maybe we'll get a little drone footage when we're down there. That would be cool. So the big question is, would I buy this bike with my own money? The simple answer is yes, and I'll tell you why. It's $8.99. After $100 off, it's $7.99. And to me, this bike is a little bit underpriced for what it offers. Don't tell TST that. That'll be our little secret. That being said, if I were going to buy it myself, I would opt for the second battery. So you're going to spend another $300 to get the second battery, because range anxiety is a real thing. So if you get 65 miles of range, supposedly, on one battery, then you can get 130 on 2 batteries, right? Easy math. Now, realistically, you might get 20 to 30 miles of range on one battery, because we're not all riding, on flat ground. We're not all 120 pounds. You could get 40 to 60 miles of range on a dual battery setup, which is really nice. If you have a job that you have to go to, a regular day job, God forbid, that's 10 miles or less round trip, you could go all week without having to charge your bike, which is really cool. Now, if you're doing food delivery like Grubhub or DoorDash or something like that, you definitely want to get dual batteries no matter what bike you're getting, because you don't have time, if you're Grubhubbing, to sit there and go back to your apartment and charge your bike for 4 or 5 hours, because that eats into the time that you could be delivering food and making money. And this would be a nice little bike for something like that, actually. It's very quick. You can get in and out of places. You can get across town pretty fast, and it's durable. So with a dual battery setup, something like Grubhub or DoorDash would be optimal. You do have to have a place to put your food, but you can always set that up. Let's talk suspension and brakes. Suspension is good. It's a little stiff, but I think this has a 450-pound cargo capacity, so, a stiff shock on the rear is probably not bad. It's going to wear in over time, and the fact that it is dual suspension is great. As far as the brakes go, they seem to work really well. Hydraulic brakes are a must when you have a bike this speedy. If I were going to make this my daily driver e-bike, I would probably put a left-hand mirror on it for situations like this, so I can see behind me, but we're not there yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to replace my daily driver with this bike yet. I will say, though, that the seat is amazing. I said it before and I'll say it again. Great seat, comfortable seat, rivals the best I've had. I said in a previous video that I have actually paid money, hundreds of dollars, for custom seats for my other moped-style e-bikes, and this one is just as comfortable, if not more comfortable, and it already comes with it right out of the box, which is amazing. They've got the comfortable seat nailed at TST. And the fact that you don't have to pay extra for it, wow. Good on you, TST. I see you. As far as the speed, I have had this up to 31, 32 miles an hour, and that's plenty fast. You don't need to go faster than that. Sometimes it can be kind of scary, especially if you hit a crazy bump or something. As far as the cockpit, everything up here is pretty comfortable. I like the, the height on the handlebars. It's really comfortable. You're not leaning too forward in an aggressive stance. Like I said, the handbrakes, really nice, work really well. The Shimano shifter, I love to have it, because if I run out of battery, you're gonna need that, because this is a really heavy bike. Pedal assist up and down, and then you've got your on-off button and your headlights right here. And here's your thumb throttle. That's the only thing I really don't like about this bike. I'm not a big fan of thumb throttles. I wish I had a half twist throttle over here. Most of my other bikes are half twists, and you just get used to it. If you're riding with a thumb throttle for a long time and you're not pedaling and you're just hitting that throttle, your thumb joint tends to get sore. So not a big fan of that thumb throttle. Maybe with future models, they'll come out with a half twist. Are you listening, TST? Half twist. Now I know there's a reason you do the thumb throttle, but I'm not a fan. So we're gonna shift down to about pedal assist 2 and just chill for a little bit on this bike path while we're talking. The wheels are pretty standard. They're 4" by 20" with a little bit of a knobby on them. It handles light trails, light dirt really well. Nothing too crazy. Let's kick it up one notch. We're a little slow right now. This is the Monterey bike path. It goes for miles and miles and miles. Some of it's really pretty, which is you're gonna see in a little bit here. The headlight works really well in the dark. I haven't really filmed anything in the dark yet, but we'll get to that. We're gonna make a hard left up here. She's a little bit windy over here, unfortunately, because I've got my drone with me, but that should be an adventure. This is probably one of the prettiest bike paths I've ever had the pleasure of being on. Not probably, actually, definitely. Once you get over the hill here, you get to look at the ocean. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll see a pod of dolphins or maybe even a whale breaching. We're on pedal assist 3, going 11 miles an hour, and I'm pedaling very easily. We're elevating, we're waiting for the beat to drop, if you will. All you people from 2010, 11, and 12 will get that reference. Everybody else, just go with it. It's a little cloudy, a little foggy today, so ocean might not be as pretty as usual, but it's still the ocean. Come on, guys. As far as the motor, it's 1500 peak watts, and I haven't had any problems with it. It's been great, very reliable so far, and it's whisper quiet, which is really nice. The acceleration on this bad boy is great. It gets up to speed really quickly. I've had some other e-bikes that take a little bit of while to get up to 30 miles an hour, I'm not gonna lie. The battery is a 48-volt battery system. I was hoping for 52, but it's fine. The 48-volt does its job, and if you have 2 of them, obviously it's even better because of the range anxiety I mentioned earlier. They do take between 4 to 6 hours to charge, so you have to plan accordingly depending on what you're doing. And I'm not sure if TST gives you 2 chargers if you get the 2 batteries set up, but if they did, that's obviously better because you can charge them both at the same time and only be down for a few hours. That should be a pretty shot right there, guys. I can't wait to see what that looks like. If only the sun were out, they would be 10 degrees warmer and a lot clearer, but that's okay. We're still spoiled. There's not a lot of real estate on the handlebars for accoutrement, you know, for a phone mount or a horn or something, but there's enough on there. I'm surprised it didn't come with a horn, actually. I'm good. That's all right. I think it's all around a pretty decent bike. I mean, I think it's good for food delivery, for commuting, for riding around campuses. Definitely for riding around the campground, you know, go get your laundry done or go to the local convenience store and grab something or even go to dinner. I could put my wife on the back of here and we can go to dinner on this thing. It does hold 450 pounds and we're well under that limit with both of us. Well, not well under, but you know, we're under it. What are you trying to say? A lot of times when you see guys reviewing bikes like this, they just fill your head with all these compliments about the bike, but I like to tell you how it is. You know, there's things I don't like about it. Like I would get rid of this thumb throttle. I would make it a 52-volt system, and I would probably give it bigger brake rotors, something a little beefier, because this is a big sturdy bike, it's heavy, and it's fast. Other than that, I enjoy this bike. I like grabbing this one and going out and doing some things. This is the one that I would choose out of the several bikes that I have right now, just to go out like I'm doing today and go out on a little beach ride besides my daily driver. Let's go down to the hotel right here and see what we can see. Uh-oh, we got a racer. They take their business very seriously, guys. They don't like e-bikers, but that's okay. They just don't know me. If they knew me, they'd like me. At least that's what I tell myself. I might be delusional. What do we got going on here? A little lifeguard station. It's a little choppy today. Choppy. Everybody comes here to park and like eat their lunch and stuff to look at the ocean. And this is the bike path that keeps going on and on and on. We're gonna go back this way. The other day we took the R9 down to Costco for a little pharmacy run. That was fun. Took about, I don't know, 11 or 12 minutes to get to Costco on the R9, but I was booking it. I was full throttle almost all the way. except when I couldn't be. You know, stop signs or whatever, stoplights, turns. We got the Monterey Beach Hotel right here. It's actually a pretty nice hotel. I'll take you guys in there. Check it out. Well, not in the hotel, but you know what I'm saying. I've actually stayed here before. It's pretty nice. A little on the pricey side, but nice. Monterey Junior Lifeguards. Doing a little lifeguard training. Nice little view of the ocean from here. With some people out enjoying the day, even though it's a little cold and gloomy. A couple people in the water. They're also known as crazy. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the road. And this is bonus footage behind the scenes of the ride home, just in case something cool or weird happens. That's what they called me in high school, by the way, cool and weird. All right, just weird, but whatever. To get back on the bike path, which is really sandy right now. Gotta be careful. I've seen some people spin out on the sand before. It can be pretty gnarly. I swear the temperature dropped like 10 degrees since I first got here about, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. I think we got a nor'easter. We got some swells coming in. It's gonna be the perfect storm. I'm out here looking for George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg and shit. All right, maybe it's not that cold, but I'm glad I wore a hoodie today. If you didn't know, Monterey is kind of like a little crazy climate area all of its own. It's like 69 every day, regardless of the season. Some days it's 72, and that's when I go to the pool. But it is a beautiful city to live in. The sun is out most of the time. Sometimes you got these weird days though, where it's the middle of July and there's no sun to be seen. It's a nice little downhill stretch. I'll try to catch up to the peloton. That reminds me, the Tour de France is on. Is anybody watching it? Are you too busy watching World Cup? Soccer and bicycling, is there anything better? Well, yeah, there's football and college football. There goes a little bunny rabbit. I don't know if you guys saw that. I didn't promise you flora and fauna, but I delivered anyway. Seen rabbits and squirrels and birds, oh my. You'll probably see a squirrel cross this path within the next 5 to 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. There's one standing up right there, but he's not crossing. 4, 3, oh man, I'm gonna be a liar. 2, 1, oh well. Maybe they're up at this deck section right here. All right, maybe this little straightaway you'll see a squirrel. Get ready for it. It's coming. Here it comes. No squirrels. Maybe they're too cold also. Yeah, those are like Surons or something. They're way too loud. And they really shouldn't be on the bike path because they go like 50 to 70 miles an hour, depending on which one you have, of course. But they look like they're being responsible kids right now and going pretty slow. I'm sure that won't last. We've all got kids, right? You either have a kid or you are a kid for the most part. Del Monte walk sign is on. Oh man, if I had drink holders with me, I could get some Starbucks for Jody and myself, but I don't have any drink holders attached to this bike yet. And I certainly ain't carrying 2 drinks in my hands without drink holders because I don't want it all over my lap. I wonder how many people actually take their e-bikes to work. If you guys take your e-bike to work or know someone that does, let me know in the comments. Pretty curious about that. I know 2 guys that do it, but that's about it. It seems like, especially nowadays with the gas prices, even though they've been coming down, so I guess I can't really say that anymore, but they are still kind of up there. Like this gas station right here that we go to all the time, it's finally down to $4.99. But for diesel, for my RV, it is $5.64, which is actually not bad at all because just a month ago it was over $7. In fact, I think it was like $7.50. So I'll take $5.64 any day. With the RV, it kind of sucks though because when you're traveling, gas prices can really fluctuate. It's awesome being in the east, and then when you start heading out west, it just goes up and up and up, and by the time you get to California, you're broke. And if you're not, California will gladly take the rest of your money from you. And there's an airplane flying right over me. We're pretty close to the airport though.